Hello, everyone. Welcome to this informative webinar here at MaxPopuli. I will be one of your hosts today. My name is Rocio, and I am a global recruiter, and I work especially with people in Mexico and in Puerto Rico. We also have Shri on here too. She is the global director. She's a global director and a talent scout. So she will be talking to you first. We will be presenting this. We ask that everybody holds their questions till the end. If there's a question, if you have a question, while we're talking, just, make a little note on you can put it in the chat or just on a piece of paper, and then we will get back. We will go ahead and answer those questions at the end. We'll have an opportunity for questions for everybody, and we're in no rush, so don't worry. We'll be able to get to everyone, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to present a little bit about our company, and then we will go from there. Okay, one moment, please. Okay, go ahead, She.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Rocio, for that warm introduction. And first of all, I want to welcome all of our attendees today from Puerto Rico. It's a Friday, but we appreciate you taking the time and joining this informative webinar on a Friday evening. There's a lot of information that we're going to be sharing, but don't worry. As Rocio said, we have this information that we can send you in an email once you express interest and you start working with us. So let me start by saying that my name is Shri Kumar. I'm the global director at MaxPopuli, and I am based in the United States, in Pennsylvania. And I would like to say a little bit about our company first. So we've been around for over 20 years. We are an award-winning US-based staffing organization. We work with different domains, but the last 5 years, my team and I have been focusing mostly on healthcare needs. And as you guys know, healthcare is something that is very critical to our economy here in the States and also worldwide. And there's always going to be tons of physicians, opportunities for nurses and physicians and allied health. So we're super, super excited to be actually working with our clients and helping our candidates to land some fabulous jobs to better their career. So having said that, you might wonder, like, who do we really work with? So to kind of give you an example of the type of clients we support, I would say, we work with a lot of the level 1, level 2 trauma hospitals in the United States. They could be anywhere from 250 to 600 bed, which is really large. And these hospitals typically cover almost all specialties that you can think of. So anything from a med surge to a, OR, ER, and other departments. We also support long-term care facilities, which is, again, an extraordinary opportunity for nurses in the United States. As you guys know, there's an aging population. There's a huge need for these types of facilities, and they're getting better and better every day. So we work with some of the state-of-the-art long-term facility companies coast to coast. We also help hospice and home health companies, which are slightly different, in terms of the patient population. Again, we hire clinicians, so they can be registered nurses, they can be nurse practitioners. We also hire physicians and allied health professionals, primarily the therapists, the radiation, folks who take care of those ultrasound and all those good things. Obviously, this is a lengthy process. As you can understand, there's lots of credentialing, which we will talk about in a little bit. But MaxPopuli has been extremely, extremely successful And we've had proven success many times over in terms of hiring international clinicians. And we can talk a little bit about it as well in the next few slides. One of the things I do want to say is all of our positions that we work with are full-time positions that come with all of the benefits. And we are also contracted by our clients to hire for them. So what does that mean? We are really not like a middle person, or we're not the middleman or middlewoman to say that, where you're going to be working for us and we're going to contract you out and taking a portion of your salary. It doesn't work like that. You work directly with our clients. So all we are doing is helping our clients facilitate this recruiting process by finding the talent, working very closely, in terms of the process and onboarding, and really helping candidates, uncover these extraordinary opportunities that you may never come across if you did not have a support like a MaxPopuli. That's what we do. So we also get asked this question many times, do I have to pay anything to you guys for me to help me find a job? The answer is no. You don't pay anything. There are no costs for you. It's zero. Basically, our clients are the ones who are paying us to build a pipeline for them. So again, we've done this. We've been doing this for so many years. We actually have brought nurses from around the world. So we also have clients outside the United States. So it's kind of an interesting combination. So we can bring people into the US. We can also offer positions for people who are looking to go into different countries based on their qualifications and the visa process. Rocio?
Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the compensation. We realize that moving to another country, even moving to another state for a job, it takes a lot. So our current client, this is an example of one of our current clients, and they are offering really nice financial compensation just to make that transition a little bit smoother for our nurses. Everyone who gets hired receives a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Okay, this is a bonus that you're going to receive on your first paycheck. There is a penalty if you don't stay employed for the full 12 months. So just be aware of that. We do ask that everybody that applies and comes on, give us a commitment of at least 2 years. So after 2 years, there's other possibilities, but we do ask for at least a 2-year commitment so that, that when you get your sign-on bonus, you don't even have to worry about that penalty. Okay. When you first arrive, they will give you a settlement bonus of $8,000. This is upon arrival. Okay. This is something that can be used for your apartment lease, your first 2 weeks groceries until you get your first paycheck. You can use this if there's any kind of, deposit like in your utilities, just incidental expenses, if you're going to lease a car or, just for your general travel to Alabama. So this is money that you can use, before you start working and until you get, your Alabama license. This is also subject to that penalty if you don't stay the full 12 months. But like I said, we hope that everybody can commit to 24 months and then nobody has to worry about that bonus or the penalty. Right now, the licensing in Alabama does take like 2 to 3 weeks from the time that you upload all your documents. So once you get hired on, once you get your offer letter, we'll set up a hire date, the date that you're going to start orientation, and then we'd like you to be here, a couple of weeks ahead of time so that can be done. There's also a performance bonus. This is a performance bonus of $12,000, and this is paid to you in 12 months and 1 month increments. So the first month that you get paid, you're gonna get $1,000. The second month, another 1,000, and so forth and so on until you reach that $12,000 for that first 12 months. You are going to be paid bi-weekly. The shifts that they have are 3 12-hour shifts. There is, extra overtime. There's extra pay for that. There's also different pay for shift differential. So that's always good to know there too. So if you work different shifts, there's a little bit of a difference in pay. We also have through MaxPopuli, we do have a referral program. So if you're currently, working at a hospital and you know a couple of other people that you really enjoy working with, that you think they're really dedicated and you think they would be a good fit, you can always bring them over. And MaxPopuli would give you $500 gift card for each referral that actually joins the hospital. And there's no limits to that. So you could bring your whole department if you wanted to. Go ahead, Shri.
Thank you, Rocio. I just wanted to add something to, you were talking about the sign-on and the relocation settlement and the penalty. So I kind of want to say this. The penalty only applies in this particular client. The penalty only applies if you leave within the first 12 months. But we do ask that you stay for 2 years. So if you were to leave for whatever reason after you complete your 12 months commitment, you will not be required to pay that money back. I just kind of wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, but the whole purpose is, you guys are getting trained for 12 weeks before you actually start your job. So, by the time you settle into your position, it's probably going to take you a good 6 to 7 months. So getting through that first year and a half is going to be a breeze. And hopefully you will like it, or I should say you would love it. So you would continue there at least for 2 years. That's the hope. All right, moving on. I know a lot of our candidates get these questions. They ask us about the licensing, the credentialing, if there is any immigration support coming from a different, coming to the United States. Obviously, as Puerto Ricans, you guys are Americans, so you really do not require a visa. Yay! So that's a good thing, right? So it moves forward. We also understand that in order for you to work in the United States, you have to have passed the NCLEX, the nursing licensing exam. And since we have hired and we are hiring Puerto Ricans for our projects, we understand that a lot of you are not NCLEX ready. A lot of the candidates we talk to are interested in coming to work in the United States, but they're not they don't have an NCLEX, they've not passed it yet. So it's okay because we work with our candidates in terms of the timing. You can interview with our client, and once you get an offer, then you can take your NCLEX, pass it, which will make you eligible for a start date. And one of the things our clients would do for you is actually reimburse you for the NCLEX fees that you may have to incur. And the reimbursements are typically once you get to the United States, obviously, because then you will be an employee. You also have to obtain what's called a visa screen certificate. It's a credentialing document that's issued by the agency called CGFNS, which is now called True Merit. They're actually based in Philadelphia. We will help you with that process as well. But before you even do that, you have to have passed the NCLEX. There could also be an English exam that you will have to pass. And we have three options for you. We obviously will recommend the easiest exam that you can take that will help you to pass, which would be the PTE or the MAT. But if you feel very confident about your English skills, you can also attempt the IELTS, which is typically what everyone takes in the United States. So you will have to complete these before you can actually arrive in the United States. So we're estimating a time of, from the time you interview, you accept the offer, you have a cushion of at least 3 to 4 months, depending on where you are in this process. So what I'm trying to essentially tell you is, because we are hiring a lot of nurses for so many of our clients, there is flexibility in determining your orientation date and your arrival date. So you don't have to be overly stressed. We can plan things accordingly for you and your family. The last piece that is very important, as you know, to work in the United States as an RN or nurse, you will have to have the respective state license. So in this example, since this hospital is in Alabama, you will be required to obtain an Alabama state license. And then there are certain procedures for that. Again, our credentialing team here in the United States, our onboarding team, will work very closely with you to help you figure that out. And of course, any of the fees that you're paying, whether it's for your NCLEX exam, for your CGFNS, visa screen certificate, if you take an English test, whatever fees you're paying for that, for your license, all this will be reimbursed by the client once you arrive in the United States. We just ask that you keep track of your receipts, and show us proof that you actually did all of this. Rocio.
Very good. Thank you, Shri. Okay. All right. So besides the bonuses that this particular client is offering, there's also a benefits package. The benefits package that they have, it includes insurance coverage. They have medical insurance, dental, vision, life, and accident insurance. These different insurance packages will include options to cover your family, your spouse, your children that that you have. So there's usually different tiers and different options. Once you go to orientation, I'm sure they'll explain all of these to you. Another benefit is time off, which here in the United States, it's called PTO, paid time off. This allows you to incur hours off depending on how much time you work. So for example, if you work a week, this is just an example, for every week that you work, you earn 4 hours of paid time off. They will explain and they will give you the details on this also. There's also sick leave. If you're sick, if you can't come into work one day, you have that option of, being able to take a day off and not, having to stress about whether you're going to get paid or not for that day. There's also, I believe, 7 or 8 US holidays that are covered also. Retirement plans, they have different retirement plans like 401k and such. A lot of these are matching contributions to where if you add like $50 to your plan, they match the same amount. So there's different vesting schedules for that too. So they will give you all of the details about this. Another really important one, I think, is tuition reimbursement. The tuition reimbursement is for you to continue education or to get other certifications. So if you start off in one department and you're interested in moving to another department, which you can in about 6 months, if there's available positions, and maybe you need some kind of certification to go into that other department, they do offer tuition reimbursement. If you want to continue education, if you're an RN and you're thinking of, getting a master's or shooting to be a doctor or getting this specialty, there's some options there too. There's also some market savings as a DCH employee. There's various savings and discounts that they have available. Again, all of these details will be covered when you go to orientation. Shri?
Thank you, Rocio. I hope all of this information is beneficial for you guys. Again, we're only talking about one particular client in this instance. So continuing on, I think one of the, I guess, strong points about this client of why you should even look at their positions is they will consider hiring new grads. So think about it. There are not many hospitals that will invest the time, money to train a new grad and really develop them into a nurse. But because this particular client is a very large 600-bed hospital, they have the tools and they actually have a structure to do that. So we are currently interviewing and hiring new grads as well as those who have experience. Maybe you have experience in long-term care, but you've always wanted to work in a hospital. Or maybe you've had experience in home health or caring for a loved one, but you really don't have a hospital background. You guys will probably fit very well within this structure. So talking about, transition for specialists, so everybody is going to be hired in med-surg or ER, depending on your background, because that's where we really have our needs right now. But let's say you come on board, you work in med-surg, but your interest is really in pediatrics. You love working with children. Obviously, the hospital has other positions. So after you complete your 12-week initial training and you actually start working with a panel of patients and get comfortable in your job, I think you should give it at least 6-8 months. And after that, you will be able to transition into a different department based on the availability, which is kind of nice. And you're able to do that because the client, this hospital is huge, and they have those opportunities for you. And like Rocio talked about, the tuition reimbursement, we are really interested in finding candidates or helping candidates who want to have a long-term beneficial career in the United States, right? I mean, you're moving your family, you're turning your life upside down to go to a new place. So obviously we want to make sure that you're settling well and it's a long-term thing. So this particular client, again, has career planning. There's many different pathways to grow. If somebody is interested in leadership, maybe that's the path you want to get into. There's a sufficient amount of support to get you to that next step. So these are all some of the advantages and benefits that you can avail with one of our clients, because we work with some of the best companies in the United States. Rocio.
Very good. Thank you. So now we have some times for any questions that you guys may have. You can drop it here in the chat, and we will be happy to answer these questions for you. So the first question that I see here is, will the hospital salary be enough to live on? I don't know how much the cost of living is in the United States compared to Puerto Rico. That's a good one. Shri, do you want to comment on that one?
Oh, absolutely. So obviously the salaries in the United States are based on the location, right? So we have something called cost of living. So for example, New York City is expensive. And how do we determine that? By looking at the rent rates, right? So 1-bedroom apartment in New York City could possibly cost you $2,000. So obviously the salary is going to be able to afford for you to be able to move into an apartment like that. So the salaries in large cities are going to be higher based on the cost of living. And then, if you're looking at a smaller city, a smaller town where your rent is only $900, obviously there's going to be a shift in that. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is the salaries the compensation for each region is based on affordability. So yes, whatever you make will be more than enough. Again, if you're living a normal life, if you're partying every day and you're eating out every day, that's on you, right? I mean, that's how it goes. But it's more than enough to actually maintain a family. And again, when you decide you want to take a look at our jobs for each location, we will be able to give you a comparison of the rates. So you'll feel more comfortable as to what you're getting into.
Here's a little follow-up on that same question. Will my pay be lower since I am coming from Puerto Rico?
Absolutely not. Your pay will commensurate with your experience when you passed your NCLEX and what you're bringing to the table. So again, in the United States, I'm sure it's the same in Puerto Rico, we have labor laws, which are very, very strict. So it's, again, can't discriminate anyone for pay based on where they come from or what they look like. So the pay is really determined based on, again, like I said, the amount of experience you have in nursing when you've passed your NCLEX, and whichever department that you're going to be part of.
Okay, we have another question here from Lila or Layla. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce this correctly. Will this be a direct hire or will I have to pay your agency? I'm not clear on this one.
Oh, so as I mentioned earlier, every opportunity that we bring to a candidate is a direct hire with our client. So we don't take any money from anybody to refer you to a client. The client actually pays us to do this.
Very good, thank you. And then we have one more. Where is this? Oh, what if my English is not good enough?
Well, I think I indicated that there is sufficient time for you to process all of this before you will actually come to the United States, because you have to pass your NCLEX. So if your English is not good, you want to take English classes. We have recommendations. We actually have partners in Puerto Rico who actually conduct these English classes. They also offer NCLEX training. You probably already know some of them, but we are happy to recommend, refer to those partners so you can work with them closely. So essentially, we want to make sure you're completely comfortable and confident before you actually arrive here. So you have the luxury of time to be able to plan things accordingly.
Okay, thank you. So those are all the questions that I see here now. If you guys think of anything else, feel free to contact me. My email is here on the screen. You can call me, you can send me an email if something comes up, or if you think of a question later. I hope that
Rocio, I do see two questions.
Oh.
See two questions that
Okay.
just came in. Let me just read that. This might
Mm-hmm.
be our final ones.
Okay.
One is from Laura, and she says, can I bring my family to the United States when I, move? So the answer, Laura, is yes. You are a U.S. citizen already. You don't need a visa, so your family can move with you. In fact, some of our candidates who we are bringing from Puerto Rico have children. So I know that there are other needs that you may have. You need to find schooling for them, and you need to have other information. Our onboarding team does a fabulous job. So once you come on board, once you accept the offer, and we know you have dependents, we will work with you closely to share more information about the schools in the area, the apartments, where you can rent, anything else you might need for that support. Hello? I think we lost the connection here. I'm not sure if it's still recording. Well, I wanted to thank you all for taking the time today and showing up for our webinar. And again, we really encourage you to take a look at all our opportunities in the United States so we can work closely with you. Rocio Garcia is our point of contact for the Puerto Rican market. And we will be sharing emails with you guys with this presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to her or to me. Again, thank you and have a wonderful evening. We hope to see you and talk to you soon. Thank you.